Right, hi everybody. We are looking today at using number lines, specifically thinking about obviously negative numbers. So add or subtract with the number line, then you just need to start from the first number and then move by the second number. All right, so that's the kind of purpose of it. So it will lead on to negative, but ultimately, if I said 3 take away 5, well, the first digit that you've got is 3. All right, so that's the first bit, and then the -5 bit means you just move left down the number line 5 times. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and it's going to get me to there, so it's going to leave me with -2. All right. Please, some people feel that because obviously the higher up they go in terms of the maths, the less they need the number line. But I promise you, it doesn't really matter how far you go up. Sometimes you just need to think. All right, and just think very, very carefully. Obviously, it's better to get the question right and have to write more down. But obviously, make a mistake and lose the marks. All right. So -4 plus 9. All right. So let's highlight -4 on there first of all. So that's where it is. And I'm going to do 9 upwards. All right, so like before, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So my number is going to be 5. Okay, right. Well, adding and subtracting negatives is where this was always kind of going to. Well, this only works really is obviously if your signs are actually next to each other, physically next to each other. All right, so if I said to you a plus and a plus is plus, minus minus is a plus, plus minus is minus, minus plus plus. Sorry, minus plus and minus. So essentially the signs are different, then it's negative. If the signs are the same, it's positive. But they physically have to be next to each other, physically, all right? So here, if I said 4 add -5, then they are physically next to each other, so that's going to be classed as this one here, which is negative. So that's going to become 4 take away 5, which is -1, all right? So 6 minus -3, again, physically next to each other. 6 take away 3, so it's going to be add. So it's going to be 6 plus 3. Right here, well, the -2 is again is your starting point. So think about what we did at the beginning of the lesson. So you've got -2 first, and then this becomes -5. All right. So because of this rule, so it's going to be -2. Take away another 5. So that means I'm going to start -2, and I'm going to go down another 5. So that's going to take me to -7. All right. I want you to think about that very carefully, because I think some people think that that's going to make a difference to it. It's not. -2 is where I start, and I'm going to go down another 5. All right, so it's going to take my temperature, if you like, down to -7. All right, start -2, it drops by another 5. It's going to go down to -7. Right here, same thing. The -4 is the starting point, and then this becomes plus 5. So it's -4 plus 5. So -4 starts, and then I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 upwards. Well, where's that going to leave me? It's going to leave me on 1. Okay, so think very, very carefully when you're doing these, please, in terms of if your signs are physically next to each other. Your first digits are literally your starting point. Right, when you are multiplying and dividing negatives, similar rule applies. All right, so if you're doing a positive times a positive, a negative times a negative, your answer is positive, or signs are the same. If you're doing two which are signs are different, so a plus or a minus or a minus or a plus, then your answer is going to be negative. All right, so it's the same for divide, same kind of rules, so I'll put those on the right. So let's have a look at a couple of examples. Well, here, what's 7 times 5 first? Well, it's 35, but the signs are different. One's positive, one's negative, so it's going to be minus 35. If you've got a minus and a minus, well, these two are both signs the same. All right, so that means it's going to give me a positive answer. So 3 times 7 is 21. Okay, positive. If you've got 24 divided by -8, well, 24 divided by 8 is 3, but the signs are different, so it's going to be negative, so -3. And then you've got -30 divided by -5. Well, minus divided by minus is a positive, and 30 divided by 5 is 6, so my answer is just 6. Right, so really, that's quite straightforward as long as you understand the rules. Okay, as long as you apply those rules, obviously consistently and accurately. All right, I know it's something that a lot of students like to practice and certainly still make mistakes on. So please make sure that you don't and you do practice. So get yourself onto my maths-school.co.uk, a link at the bottom of the page, and get yourself practicing. Thanks for listening.